there's a feeling of all hands on deck. Like this feels like potentially the end. We get to see the Wizards 3 again, for example. Like this is how bad it's gotten. And
you mentioned the Wizards 3. That has a long and storied history in D&D, and that came later. I think that might have actually come out of Amanda's brainstorming sessions around actually fleshing out the story, this idea of bringing this concept back. For those who don't know, the Wizards 3 started off as a series of Dragon magazine articles. They're called the Wizards 3 because there's 3 of them, and they're all wizards. But they haven't been the same wizards the whole time. When the series was first introduced and written by Ed Greenwood, I believe the 3 wizards were Elminster of Shadowdale, Mordenkainen of Greyhawk, and Dalamar of Krynn. But we have since enlarged that concept to have wizards sort of pop in and out of that group. There's always one of the anchors there, usually, be it Mordenkainen or Elminster or Dalamar, and then occasionally we swap out the other 2.
Why can't they just solve this problem? They seem very powerful, capable.
They do.
Storied.
Yes, and in any other situation, they probably could. But what's interesting about what Amanda and the writers created is, obviously in a D&D adventure, it's the player characters who should be the heroes, who should be doing the action. But to your point, if Mordenkainen and Tasha and Illustrial can just come in and do everything, then the character seems superfluous. But early on in this story, something happens that connects the characters to Vecna in a way that these wizards simply cannot do.
These 3 very powerful spellcasters are crafting a wish that they hope is powerful enough to reverse time and stop Vecna from having made the progress that he's already made. Because throughout this adventure, Vecna is very, very close to actually completing this ritual to remake the multiverse. And the wizards are trying to reverse that to give them enough time to stop him from making that progress. And so there are reasons that something happens, and there are characters who are doing things that these wizards aren't aware of, but when that plays into the mix of this wish spell, it does go awry. It does go awry. And so where they might say something like, we wish for Vecna's essence to have never gained enough power to start this ritual, what ends up happening is that there's a backlash, and the characters who have an intrinsic magical, metaphysical tie to Vecna due to the events that happened previously in the adventure, they are shunted to Sigil. So the universe's answer to, we want Vecna's power to be reversed and we want Vecna's power to be stopped, the universe's answer is, now these characters are here. Now these heroes are here. And where the wizards had hoped that it would just have sort of sent Vecna back in time, they go, well, what's the answer? What is the universe trying to tell us? We haven't stopped him, but we have these people to help us.
That's the other thing that really makes players feel like they're so important and so powerful in this adventure is they're the living embodiment of wish.
Yeah, exactly. And so there are things that happen that the characters don't have control over, but, you know, they do have control over the fact that they were successful in their missions, that they stood up against the cult of Vecna, that they stopped this cult of Vecna earlier in the adventure, and that they, what they think, stopped the awful activity that this cult was trying to pursue, and that they saved the people that had been kidnapped, who had powerful secrets in their own rights, and they think that that's the end of the story, and really it's just the beginning of the story.